guess I can turn it on right now since I forgot to mute it. Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, this morning has been, to say the least. My headache is tapered off, thankfully. It's still kind of there, but not as bad as it was yesterday. So I think I can at least do my dailies on both accounts. Hi, hon. How you doing? But I basically woke up to a text from my brother this morning. Why do I have this? Did I get something? Oh, Sayu. I forgot about the contest, Sayu. Hey, she's C3. I woke up to a text from my brother, who got a text from our cousin, or a call from our cousin, that was taking care of our dad. Long story short of that, my dad definitely needed more care than any of us can really provide, so he was put into a nursing home. Without going into any of the drama that unfolded prior to this, I was put on his and my mom's account after my mother passed away, just to keep an eye on the finances, know what's in the account and whatnot. Well, in February, I saw some charges that were questionable. Another cousin of ours has taken over looking over my dad's finances when putting him to the nursing home, and so on and so forth. Since I saw charges that were kind of questionable, I asked her about them, and even she was just like, I would turn the card off because, yeah, there's no way for you to know that the charges were for my father. And with my father not being there, some of the larger charges were the things that were very questionable. So I went and turned the card off. My friend Kim took me down to the bank because it was an emergency. And it's been 3 months since then. And my brother gets a call from the cousin that was taking care of dad and saying that was questioning about the card because he needed to buy clothes for our father. And I was like, well, it's kind of funny that all of a sudden he needs new clothes. And that's when my brother told me that apparently none of the clothes fit anymore, which can go either way. Either my dad lost a lot of weight, or we're just gonna condense the I can't condense. Oh, well, okay, I guess we're doing ley lines.
Add Astra at
So it could go that he lost a lot of weight or he gained weight. For my father, it's either or. Like, it could go either way. How many days do I have left on that? 5? Yeah, I can do it like on like tomorrow or something. I'll probably do it on my main because I only need to do the one. But yeah, so he was calling. My brother remembered why I had turned the card off because I had spoken to him about that before. And he was like, "Okay, I'll have them talk to our other cousin." Hello, and thank you for the follow yesterday. How are you doing? Oh, internet, you okay? You good? So I'm just waiting for a text or a call from either of the cousins. And this is ultimately why I didn't want to be put on the account in the first place, especially with all the falling out that's happened with me and my father and stuff. Oh, oh boy. Oh boy. Why is it's not my ping. My ping is fine. My remote play is struggling today. That's good to hear. So yeah, I'm just waiting for some kind of callback, I guess. Because the thing is, I don't know if the bank will let me turn that card back on, considering the fact when I broke down why I wanted it turned off, they basically gave the warning like, yeah, if it's not me or my father using the cards, it would be considered fraudulent. And I mentioned that specifically I've been witness to most of the purchases when being used if my brother was the one using the card. This was, of course, prior to my father moving in with the said cousin beforehand. So it's not like I wasn't aware of some purchases happening. But, if I'm not in charge of like all the finances and stuff like that, or like knowing all the information, of course I shouldn't be on the freaking account, right? Like, it's just strange to me.
Take me up.
And I am going to be a paranoid fuck and, cover my ass. But if it comes down to it, I will 100% meet up with that. Yeah, there's something wrong with my controls right now. Like, I think there's something wonky with the connection to the remote play. Everything's delayed. Um, but like, yeah, I would 100% if the cousin says to me, "Hey, let's put my name on the account instead," I will be like, "Yes," because I cannot tell when you do a withdrawal what that withdrawal is for. So when I see a withdrawal for a total of $1,100 between two transactions, I have to question it. Sure, it's closed for fraud. Then a whole bit, yeah. So I I'm hoping that basically the cousin will be understanding about it. One, because yes, if I'm not privy to any information, then understanding why I turned it off. Also, I want to point out the other cousin, the one that's actually now in charge of the finances. When I was talking to her about it, and she went, "Yeah, I would turn it off because there's no way of knowing." So it wasn't just me doing it willy-nilly. I talked to somebody that was technically involved. So now I'm a little bit more worried and paranoid about all that shit. On top of what's going on with my brother at the moment. So it's it's been very, very rough. And I would prefer not to have another breakdown so soon. I have my phone out in the living room just so the text alert doesn't go off into the microphone. But if I do hear it through my headset, you might see me go AFK very briefly, just to take care of that stuff. But other than that, I'm doing okay. Excuse me. That's my coffee. Hello, coffee. Oh. But on a happier note, we are getting our special program on Friday, so it's keeping up with its schedule. Totally looking forward to that because I want the official announcement for Skirk and seeing who's running with her and not relying on the rumor mill. But also for the fact that, her materials should be completely finalized at that point, and I can go, "Oh crap, I farmed the wrong thing." Or I can actually go, "Yeah, I can go farm books now." But the dev notes are available now too, and I forgot they actually confirmed like loadouts, the actual loadouts.
Let's fly.
Up to 2 sets per character, I think it is, which my brain just went, huh. I think the only character that I have for that on my I don't think I have anything like that on here just yet. I know I was making a couple for Baiju. Um but the only character that really has more than one set on my main is Singcho. Because I just made him a Noblesse set for when he's with Risley, and potentially Skirk. You're conflicted about Skirk? I need to see what she does in actuality and not in beta or anything like that. It's why I don't pay attention to the kit until after the special program. But I've been wanting Skirk since I saw her at the end of Fontaine, so even if she doesn't do what I want her to do, she'll be a trophy wife. She'll be a trophy character. On one hand, she looks amazing. On the other, I'm so happy I can finally like Ayaka's strong again. I missed her. I I'm glad somebody is very happy about using Ayaka because she was like the go-to for a long, long time before my playtime because I started playing in Fontaine. I just can't stand using her, and maybe that's just because I wasn't around when she first came out to really get used to her and stuff like that. But anytime she's in a trial event or something like that, like, I suffer. Like when she was in the Imaginarium Theater. Actually, I think she's in this theater, isn't she? Or was she in the last one? I'm confused. Both of them have cryo. Oh wait, today is Tuesday, right? I should probably do justice books for Furina. Baiju is my trophy character. I only summoned for him because I liked it whenever he first appeared in Leeway. I love Baiju. Baiju and Chung Chung. The funny thing was with Baiju, um, this was after I had gotten Nouvellette and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna let my thing sit for a second. So my timing's gonna be off on my artifacts, dang it. So I had gotten Nouvellette when he first came out. And then I lost my 50-50 on Risley. And then Farina and New Baiju were running. And I was just like, oh, I heard Baiju's a really good healer. This would be pretty good for Nouvellette to get some extra healing. And Baiju created a shield. Now, keep in mind, I didn't know Baiju's shield was made of paper. But I was like, yeah, that'll be good. And then I saw how good Farina was. So I was like, okay, I'll use my guarantee on Farina and I'll slowly pull on Baiju. Got Baiju in 7 pulls after getting Farina. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. I like this. So because I was C0 Nouvellette, I still wanted to use Zhongli after seeing how bad Baiju's shield was. But Baiju obviously helped Farina's fanfare. So I was like, okay, cool. So I had most of the premium team for Nouvellette without even trying. And then I flipped to Sucrose. Sucrose and Fischl when I got more comfortable with, trying to stay back. Oh, you actually saw me from way back there? Really?
Tell me what you see. Farewell.
Really?
Breaking news! Hold that pose! Let's fly! Locked on!
So I would flip between those because at C0, Nouvellette needs a rainbow basically for... Oh, I thought you were dead. So it was just really funny about that. Like I had totally planned on pulling for Baiju, got him super, super quick. And then I'm like, yeah, this works really well. And it turns out I was slowly making the Nouvellette premium team. All the good luck went into that scene. That's why you're taking a cat as bow only Baiju curse healer. No, he didn't. Honestly, like it was funny. Like I had no intention of rolling for Nouvellette on this account because I wanted to try different DPSs. Supports I can double up on. I don't really care about that because they're supports. They're meant to fit everywhere. And I at the time, like I didn't have Charlotte on this account. And I'm like, I can't think of another healer that does the AoE healing, like a consistent healing, like a regen after doing it. Because Barber doesn't. And I was like, I'm going to need Baiju for Farina. And that was just to actually easily use Farina at the start. Also, Blender with Baiju was fun. Oh my god, game. Okay. I'm going to suffer through the remote play doing what it's doing on this account just because I'm not doing anything heavy-handed. And I will reboot the remote play when I switch accounts. But it's funny when you play him and he's constantly coughing. Like, stop sick. You need to rest. The amount of times I'm like, you good? You good, bro? When playing Baiju is kind of funny when I first got him because I wasn't expecting him to cough like that all the time. Even though at that point, I think I did do his story quest, so I understand why he does it. His story quest is still my favorite in the game so far. Now, granted, I haven't personally done it, but Arlecchino's is actually really good. I watched my husband do it. What's the other one? Risley. Risley is the other one I haven't done, but I really liked it when I saw my husband play through it. Hey, you're really trying there, bud.
Went too far.
So yeah, happy to see the loadouts come out. Just because, like I said, I started making 2 sets for like Sing Cho. The Noblesse is primarily for Risley / Skirk. We'll see if I use Skirk as a primary DPS or if she is going to be like the burst DPS and I run Nouvellette. That's been the rumor mill from one specific streamer that might be the best teammate for now with Skirk. But my only issue with that is that by using Skirk, and of course you'd have the Escoffier, right? And then you'd have Farina and then Nuvi. It actually will cut Nouvellette's damage. So it's going to really depend how powerful Skirk is to see if it makes up for losing Nouvellette's damage. Because, like, if I use Nouvellette, the Nouvellette Premium, quote-unquote, so Shalonen and Kazuha, my Nuvi hits for around 113k, I think, on average per charge. So per tick. When I change that out to use, like, Sitlali and Shalonen, he still does around 90k, I think. Maybe hitting 100. And then when using Escoffier and Sitlali, how much was it? I want to say it was still... Oh, whoops. He didn't go out. I think it was around 80 to 90k. So it's nothing to sneeze at. Don't get me wrong. It's nothing to sneeze at. He's still doing an ass ton of damage per tick. But, you know, it's still like 20k less. Or 30k less, depending. And that's a lot to drop. So I am very curious to see if it's going to average out. Solo damage teams are more enjoyable for me, at least. Oh, gee. Okay, well, we gotta wait again. My remote play is just giving me trouble. Which is sad, because you can actually see my frames not dropping here. Like, it's not blurry or anything. It's actually nice and pretty. Why you do me like that, remote play? Really gotta... I wish I was more tech savvy and knowing, like, what kind of capture card I would need. Like, what would be good for a good price. Like, I know brand-wise, Elgato is decent. But that's talking like $200 for a capture card. And I'm not going to say that's not worth the investment. I just don't have $200 to drop on a capture card. I'd be willing to drop about half that, maybe, if for something decent. But, you know, even then, that's kind of pushing it. I should probably contact one of my friends who's a big tech nut and see what he has to say. Especially since he got into streaming too, so it's just like, hey, maybe you have a better idea. No, that's not the camp. Okay, that's fine. I don't know. I have like I have the teams I really like to play, and you can tell because like I have Verisa. Verisa does very well, and she's fun. Don't get me wrong, she's fun. But like I don't care if she doesn't do as much damage. I love using Chaska. How rude,
Open fire!
I say as I shoot somebody in their sleep. Yeah, so this is like the only team I really like using on this account. The one I did mention though, I will say that. The one I mentioned though, the blender, quote unquote, is Kazuha, Xiangling, Kaya, and I didn't hit my gun. Whoops. And Baiju. We were using Baiju because we needed heals. But we could flip in, say, like Cho. We could do it that way. Farina probably would be the better option just to get some boosting, but we would need a healer for that. That was just a lot of fun just watching, like, suck things in and have all the swirling going on around with like Kaya's glacial wall and stuff like that. That was a silly little team. Controversial maybe. I hate Mualani. Like Mualani as a character, I love her. She's adorable. Playable character.
Let's fly!
Go touch grass, Mualani. No more beach for you. You go touch grass. Because I remember when she came out and everyone was just like, Nuvi who? Rest in peace, Nuvi. Like, new best DPS in the house for Hydro. And everybody and their mother still uses Nuvolette over Mualani. Why? Probably because Mualani's damage is inconsistent if you use the Witsith. 1. 2, she yeets her shark into oblivion, so her big nuke will do nothing because she does that. Meat. So I, like, on this account, here, I'll go through it in a second. Just let me finish out this, because I got to shoot this guy in the head.
Take me up! Bullseye!
Can't run from death.
Go home, Chaska, you're drunk. Don't fly on your gun while you're drunk. Okay. So I've talked about this before, and I'm sure everybody has had something like this, right? Because you see a character in the story, you like them and stuff like that, or you see their kit and you're like, oh, that looks pretty good and stuff like that. But you pull them, you start using them, and then you have buyer's remorse, just absolute regret. And honestly, with the characters I have, and you can see I don't have very many limited 5 stars here. This is totally free to play account, obviously. So let's go down the line. Farina, do I regret? Absolutely not. Chaska, no, I don't regret it actually. Her damage seems to have fallen off a little bit, but I do run Electrocharge Superconduct here, which has been working out, but I believe Overvape for Chaska is better. So I could do Overvape at this point because the healing between yeah, the healing between Bennett and Chev should be fine if I wanted to try to do Farina. But then I'm missing Electro, and then what do I do for Electro at that point? Well, I guess she would just take the place of Charlotte, right? I could try that. I was just thinking running Bennett. I don't know why. Speaking of which, I need to put Bennett's sword back on him before I forget. Shalonen. It's questionable if I regret Shalonen. She's good for shred and stuff like that, but Varisa Overload seems to be, especially for this account, better than running Kazu and Shalonen. So this one's debatable. Kazuha, I don't regret at all. He was great for traversal in the overworld at the very start of the game, and just grouping in general was great. So plus he's one of my favorite characters, so I don't regret him. Eula, well, she was a 50-50 loss on the Chronicle Wish, so sort of. We tried to make her good. We tried. Supposedly Escoffier was good with her, so I kind of regret not trying for Escoffier with her. But as you saw me showing yesterday, 5-star weapons on this account are kind of a must at this point. And I've lost to the Amos bow multiple times, so I only have 2 5-star weapons at all. So Eula is kind of that I kind of regret it, but kind of don't at the same time. She was the only 5-star DPS I had for a while. And she did really well for, God, I don't know for how long. Like, up until I think Natlan came out, she was doing pretty solid. Barisa, absolutely no regrets. She was the reason that the account could 36 star the Abyss. Because she hits hard enough, she can utilize the Witsith fairly well, better than Mualani. The only thing was I had to make Overload for her and not doing the Shalona and Kazuha combo with Eonson. Baiju, absolutely not. I love the man, and he is a fantastic healer. He got me through a lot of stuff. Nahida, don't regret it all because I believe I got Tainari first because I lost my 50-50 on Emily, who was supposed to replace Nahida. And I was like, okay, we're going to deal with the cards we were dealt. We're going to level Tainari. And I wanted Nahida for Tainari, so I don't regret that at all because Tainari is still a pretty heavy hitter considering the fact he has an R4 bow. Mualani, 100% regret it. I regret it. At one point, this is where the inconsistency comes from. I actually got to. I don't know what she landed on the Witsith, but she was able to hit 400k on the shark, on the nuke. And I have not been able to replicate that since. And the highest she's gotten is under 300k. So where the heck has 200k damage gone? Her build has not changed. I started getting on her banner, so she'll always have a special place in my account. Eula, that's so cool. I wish I had started early. I wish I did, because I could have gotten things like Klee, because Klee is one of my favorite characters. I adore that little girl. Okay, you're being disruptive. You're being disruptive, Mualani. I like Mo. Yeah, it's like when I got her, I was just like, oh, this will be good because I could play her like Nouvelette. And then it turns out she 100% wants pyro with her. She wants to vape. And I was like, oh, well, okay then. So yeah, like she on this account, she really is the one I 100% regret pulling. And even though I don't want to, even though I don't want to pull for the same DPS as Bennett was what I was going to go for. It would almost seem better if I was just like, well, I know how to play Nouvelette. I might as well have one solid team that I know how to use and then play around with the second one. But hindsight, I'm also still glad I didn't do that because then I would fall into like, oh, there's Arlecchino. I know how to play Arlie, and I have the supports for Arlie except for a shield. And in that instance, well, this account actually missed the first time with Arlecchino just because I just didn't have enough wishes. So it would have been Malvika. And then losing Malvika, I could have pulled on Arlecchino again if I did do that. But again, I really want to try playing other characters. And the funny thing is, when you look at my main, I don't have a single DPS from Natlan. I have the supports, but I don't have a single DPS. So yeah, those are the characters. All right, we're gonna go get Justice and Fruit Pies. I'm gonna turn on the fan now because it just got really hot in here. I probably should do all of the resin I have on this because Charlotte's gonna need them too. funny thing about gameplay-wise with the Natlan characters, I originally wanted Kniech because I thought he was going to be super fun. And at the time, I was like, "Oh, cool, he's got a dragon," because I love dragons. My model is actually a half dragon. As you pointed out, you remind you of an aura. That's just how I drew the scales because it made sense to me. Instead of doing each individual scale, I was just like, no, we'll just do it this way. This actually looks good. 14 did good on character design. And then I discovered how annoying a How was, and I was like, oh, I don't like that.
Hard-hitting exclusive. Say cheap.
And then I played Kniech in the trial, and I was like, oh, I don't actually like the flippy dippy. I thought I would. Apparently I don't. And then Malvika's okay. I just chose to do Sitlali on the main, and ended up with her at C1 because character testing, some people were like, oh yeah, if you have her C1, she's actually really good with Nuvolette. And I was like, okay, well, I would like to have the option for Nuvi, but I pulled her for Arlecchino.
Shower me with praise. Time to shine.
Time to say hello.
Breaking news. Hold that pose. Take me up. Locked on. Locked on.
If you're playing on JP, you listen to Sasuke and Naruto Vicar 24/7. I will state that that is the best casting ever.
Let my name echo in song.
Tell me what you see. Be free.
Smile. Hard-hitting let's run. Open fire.
And then we'll go condense, and then we'll come back.
Let the world collide.
Go. You're free now. Farewell.
Shoot. Hold that pose. Ha. Open
So who are your guys' favorite characters from each region? I'm just kind of curious. I've been seeing like a lot of like tier lists and stuff like that, like favorite Mondstadt character and stuff, and then I'm like, oh, who are mine? I think my favorite character from Mondstadt, it's between 1 and 2. It's either Klee or Kaya. I like them both pretty much equally. Leeway, I'm gonna give it to Zhongli. He was kind of the reason I played the game. I saw him and went, Husbando! This is when my husband started playing too. So I was like, oh, Husbando. And then my husband gets to a point in the game where he discovers who Zhongli is. And it's like, oh, yeah, he's technically a dragon. I was like, dragon! And he goes, and he uses a pole arm, which is my favorite weapon type. So, because my avatar does also use a pole arm. Because she was inspired by a dragoon, which is my favorite class in Final Fantasy. So I was like, I need husbando. So yeah, Zhongli probably would be my favorite character from Leeway. I gotta say Kazuha for Inazuma. Again, here's a toss-up for Sumeru. It's either Nahida or Alhaitham. I don't know why I really like Alhaitham, but I do. Other than husbando material. Fontaine, 100% is Nuvolette. And then Natlan, it's actually Auroron. And it's like, well, what about your favorite Fatui? Again, toss up. I really love Arlecchino. Her storyline was really good. I needed to see who that was. Oh, I think it was Kuki.
I'll think about it.
9, 7, 6, 8. Yep. Okay. None of you guys are level 10. That's fine.
Thank you for completing.
My Glorious King Capitano. That was, yeah, Capitano really stole the show for me in Natlan. So anytime the Natlan story came up, I was more interested in seeing his side of things than actually finishing out stuff for Malvika. So it for me it's a toss up. I will say, like, even though you have the twist ending of what he does, because he's technically still alive sitting on that throne because of the curse of immortality, but you know, he set the souls that were within him free, which is really nice, really cool, and you know, just shows how much of an awesome character he is. I feel the story did him dirty just because it feels like he will not be playable, and that makes me very sad because I was like, hell yeah, I'm all in on Capitano when he's released. Savage. Back to the domain. Game. Event here. Other thing here. Map here. Okay, it understood that. It understood that finally. What else was on that tier list? I had favorite weapon. Like, that was the weird one. It was like favorite weapon. Or like, are we talking like weapon type? Or are we talking like the individual weapon because you like either the passive on it or what it looks like?
Strike a pose. Time to shine.
Time to say hello.
Breaking news. Smile. Bullseye. Bullseye.
In which case, I still don't even know what I would choose. Because, like, I love Tome of the Eternal Flow and, is it Tranquil of Splendid Waters? Is that the name of Farina's? They both look really, really cool. But I'm partial to things that are blue because it's my favorite color. So it's like, is that a bias thing or what? But like, if thinking about it, getting right down to it, I would have to say Crimson Moon Semblance. Is that Arlequinos? Is a really odd looking polearm, but the fact that it morphs into a scythe is fucking amazing. All right, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, you left just in time. The stupid thing started acting up again.
Let the world come alive.
Go! You're free now! He's free!
Shoot. Bomb. Hold that pose. Let's run. Locked on. Phew.
All right, got 3 more runs to do of this, and then we'll just convert them all into the gold since that's what both. I almost said Chev. No, Chev needs order. Charlotte and Farina need.
Shower me with praise. Time to shine.
Tell me what you see. Farewell!
Breaking news. Take me up. Locked on.
Trying to think of the other stuff that was on that thing. I remember the weapon one because that was actually kind of weird. Probably favorite region was also on there. That's no surprise for me. It's Fontaine.
World come alive.
Go!
Oh, favorite Archon. Just overall favorite Archon.
Smile.
And my favorite Archon is actually Nahuda. New Roulette does not count. He is not an Archon.
Open fire.
He's a Samhain. Favorite NPC was also there. Truth be told, I don't know like a lot of NPCs off the top of my head. I know Jet, like, but truth be told, I hadn't paid attention to the Jet storyline because I was spamming through it because I needed Primos.
Showering you with praise. Time to shine.
Tell me what you see. Be free.
I mean, does Kukuku count? I mean, technically he's part of, Tifa's kit, so I don't know. But, like, if we go, like, favorite Saurian, I'm 100% saying Kukuku.
Locked on.
It's funny, like, as much as I like Sitlali and even Chaska, my favorite Natland characters are the 2 4-stars, or 2 of the 4 stars. Which kind of makes me sad. Okay. No, I know it's gonna go here. We went to the teapot yesterday. I do want to do this, actually. How many days do I have left on this? 5? Okay. I think tomorrow we might do that. Unless... Let's see how much we get here with the, justice. Not actually, how much? I own 25. Okay, can make 16. Which is enough for... The 16 there is actually enough for one... level... 1 crown? Is it 1 crown? It is 1 crown. Okay. So, Farina has enough in what is here and what can be made to crown and to get to level 9. But we want to double crown Farina. So, I will convert all of those that we have. Oops, no, went too far. Yeah, so we're going to convert these. Alright, Eula. Wow, Eula popped off! That is the most I have seen for the double. Holy. Good job, Eula. Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. We just need to... We're gonna get this to level 9. Hopefully we'll get some drops when we fight the whale later this week. How many solvents do I have? That's a better question. And this is just an easier way to say. I have 11. So we need 2 of these. Let's see. I don't think I was actually using... Oh, no, I was using them on Eonson just because I hate fighting the knave. The dragon, too, actually. I don't like fighting the dragon. Not on this account. Nuvalet can actually do it fairly easily, but for whatever reason, like, no, Chaska doesn't. Although I probably should try it with Verisa and see how she does with Overload. But we need all the drops from the whale, so I can't really solvent anyway. I can solvent the stuff from the knave. Chaska, are you? I own 1, so I might be missing 1 to double crown her. Or did I double crown you? No, I am missing 1, and then she needs her books. So that's a thing I've been trying to consider. Like, do I want to crown her bursts? Like, she doesn't really use it a heck of a lot. Like, I do fire it off, so I mean, there's no reason not to. Mualani, I could crown her burst as well, but I'm trying to not use Mualani unless I can really help it, which is why I flipped gears to Farina because they use the same item. So, at this moment in time, it literally is just with the teams I've got, which I probably should actually change the profile. Hang on. It's this up here, right? Edit profile, yes. Edit showcase. There we go. I have the Tainari team and the Mualani team. So instead of Mualani, I probably will show Varesa. So where's So who's in the Varesa team? It's where are you, Chev? It's Chevy, Janssen. Oh wait. It is Zhangling for right now, right? Yeah. So yeah, it would be Chevy, Zhangling, and Varesa. There we go. So those are the teams I typically have right now in my showcase. My main does this as well. So not too bad, not too bad. All right. Do I have a wish? I do. Just to see. We're like at 46 or something like that. 25, 30, 40, 45, 46. So yeah, 47. This will be 47. Yep. I knew it. Yeah, but we'll get a chunk of primos from the event when I sit down to do it. And then we'll figure out where else I can get some primos. That's not going to take forever. I do have some more story to do because we do have the interlude from Sumeru. And we have Bedtime Story. Bedtime Story is I think the only part of the Archon Quest interludes that I haven't done with Dane's Leaf. So we got those two things we can do. And then I think it's all side quest stuff plus, story quests or whatever. I honestly should probably do the story quests that unlock the fights so I can get the co-op achievement for them. Well, actually, this account... No. Well, yes and no. I did do a co-op rush with my husband not that long ago. It's sometime last year. And I went into his world, because this was before world level 9. I went into his world, and we co-opted, like, the Knave and a Pep, because I didn't have them unlocked here. And the whale, too. I don't think I didn't do Fontaine at that point. So, all right. I am going to flip accounts. Hopefully the remote play will fix itself once I come back. And I'm also going to go get a drink. So I will be right back. And I'm back. Grab some coffee. I checked my phone while I was up, and I haven't seen anything from my brother, so I'm guessing things are still being mediated. All right, remote play. Behave yourself, please. Hi, newbie. All right, we need to do bosses and stuff today. I'm gonna do my artifact route first, though. Fun co-op. Okay, this is the one you can do co-op or not co-op. Like, you don't have to co-op for this one, right? When is this starting? On the 5th? So what day is it today? Well, that's not gonna tell me. So today's the 3rd, so on that's an odd day. On Thursday? Okay.
Water comes
I-
in many flavors to the
yes, newbie. Water.
Mondstadt's water.
Oh, no, that's not early. That's not good.
Yep,
Excuse me.
you're right.
Add extra applesauce.
There'll be an extra.
Gotta get my fodder. Nope. Okay, see, that's more of what I expect when the internet or the remote play has problems. It brings up the thing in the corner, my frames dip to all heck, but I can still move. And not like when I'm hitting up and I veer to the right. I think next week, probably. Or in the later half of this week, we'll see. I should probably get things situated in my kitchen, just so I can do some crafting streams or something. Because I still want to do like art YouTube and stuff like that. You know, if I stream the stuff, I can cut the VOD up and make the video out of it. It would be pretty easily done. But with the amount of stress I've been under lately, with like a lot of stuff that's been happening, I think doing the crafting would be a good idea. Just get us some like relaxing vibes. I'll look up some like royalty free music I can use on stream, so there's background noise at least, so I'm not gonna get flagged. And we'll just test stuff out to see what I can remain in frame. If I can set up both the old phones. I have my mom's old phone that I can use as a camera, which was newer than my old phone, which I still have. It's just a matter of how long is the battery gonna last? That's the question. Because the reason I got a new one was because the battery was being a pile of shit. Also to the point where it was telling me that my memory was full or my hard drive was full on it, and it had like nothing on it. So there was something deeply wrong with it. So thankfully I'll be like recording like through OBS, or if I'm streaming, I'll be streaming, of course, and being able to download the VOD. So it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I want to make sure that I can like have the overhead view and have everything pretty much stay in frame, unless I'm like, hey, I gotta bring this close to my face. So like drawing shouldn't be too much of a problem, I don't think.
Overruled. A little I'm going in. Get to work. Fulfill our pact. Seat lolly. Eat papa.
That's the other thing. I gotta look up to see what potentially Skirk's weapon is gonna take, and I'll just pre-farm that, because everything should be available for that. So even if I don't get her weapon, I'll have stuff on hand for whoever's weapon might take it. When I was thinking about it more and more, especially over the last month, pretty much, because I had, for those who don't know, I had jury duty for the very first time last month, and that did send me into a little bit of a panic attack. I don't do well in those kind of settings at all. Very smaller room than I'm used to with a lot of people. The only time I've ever really experienced that is if I'm sitting in a panel at a convention, and I haven't been to a con since 2019. So whatever I had immaculated, that's not the word I want. I don't even think I said that right. It's kind of gone. I'm very much an introvert. So I deliberately grabbed a little sketchbook to take with me because drawing does soothe my anxiety. I used to do that at the office all the time. When my work was done, let me rephrase, when my work was done and I was waiting for the next thing, I would take out some scrap paper and I would draw. It would keep me at my desk. I would still answer the phone. I would do whatever was asked of me, and then I would go back to it. It would keep me occupied. It would keep me calm. And we had some crazy people come into the office, let me tell you. So it's been a tried and true thing for me to soothe like that, and that's when I drew the derpy cat fins. Ooh, ah. You ban. Okay, thanks. This way early. But also thinking back, I hate to say that it's been 3 years at this point. Because I do plan on, like, one of the videos I do want to make for the art YouTube is talking about my year of crafting. This has been, like, the only time ever that I made a New Year's resolution and actually completed it. And then some, because the goal was to do something creative at least once a month. And the term creative was very broad because I didn't want to overstress and put so much pressure on myself, which is what happened the first time I tried to do it. It was more to a specific medium when I did it, but it did put a lot more stress on me, and I just kind of went, ha, no one's there to hold me accountable. I'm just not going to do it. But that's why I kept it vague. So anything I did, like I was writing fic at the time. I was writing fics at the time. And I was like, if I write down a little scene or even just like a plot summary of something I had thought up, it would count towards the being creative. Little tiny doodles, like I said, I would draw at my desk when I would wait for the next thing and whatever, would count towards that creativity. It didn't have to be a masterpiece or a finished piece. I just had to use that part of my brain. And it turned into once a month was once a week. And I missed that. I honestly missed that.
Another test subject.
Get to work! Fulfill our pact! Suffer the wrath of Eatfleet!
So I've been trying to get back to that once a month kind of thing. And again, it didn't matter what it is. It's just as long as I'm doing that part of my brain, it's all good. And one of the projects I did during that time, and I did it twice, or at least the concept twice, which was the anime glass painting. So basically, when you do that, the style that it's supposed to be is like the old 90s cel shaded anime. So think like Sailor Moon, which was right up my alley because Sailor Moon is what my style is heavily influenced by. And I did the foolish thing, the smaller version of this first, so Smaller scale, bad to test with first. But you know, overall, I like how it came out. There was just a couple things that I'm like, oh, I really should have tried to find the finer tipped pen. Because one of the better materials to use is an oil-based paint marker, which Sharpie makes. But when I was doing the projects, I couldn't find the extra fine tip. I could only find the fine one, so the normal sized one. So the outlines are huge, and it's more evident on my phone case than it is than the glass painting itself. So yes, I did customize a phone case on a clear silicone phone case with Lucia and Kethan, so my avatar and the little dragon. And it was really cute. I heavily enjoyed it. I got a lot of compliments on that. There was one point where I was at Michael's purchasing something, I don't remember what, and I had my phone, and they uh, scanned my phone for the coupon, and they're like, they saw me going to put it away and saw my phone case. They're like, "Can I see your phone?" And I was like, "Okay." So I showed it to them, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" So it was mind blowing to them that I actually, you know, painted that onto a phone case the way I did. So that was awesome. And when getting my new phone, I was like, I want to do that again. So I bought a phone case, and I still haven't done it. And I need to. So that would definitely be one of the projects I'd be working on. And I know one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to default being the derpy Kethan smile, because I adore that face. He is so heckin' cute. Or I'm going to do my OC Sora, because Lucia was the last one I did. So it's only fair that I give Sora some love.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Show no mercy. Get to work. See Lolling, he's Papa. Get him.
Looks like I went too far.
You're hiccuping. Please don't hiccup when I go into the boss fights, please. I beg. But the glass paintings and stuff. So when I did the glass painting, and one of the reasons I do like the glass painting as a project is that it's fairly cheap to do. The only thing you really have to invest in that's quote unquote quality is some paintbrushes. And my paintbrushes that I got that are fairly decent, I got for like $8 for a 2-pack on Amazon. Now, I don't think the 2-pack exists anymore, and it's probably around $5 for that 1 pack, but it was a decent pack of brushes. In fact, I think it's like the same brand or whatever that Nerdy Crafter used for her Not Another Crap kit. So I have even more brushes of the similar quality because I have both kits. But that would be the one thing I say not to skimp out on, really. Just because I've had crappy brushes where all the bristles just keep coming out after every stroke. And it's not fun either trying to pick out the bristles from the painting, so you're getting paint all over you, you're smudging your painting, and stuff like that, or trying to get it out after it's dried, and it's just like, this is bad. So yeah, I would definitely recommend getting some quality brushes. Not top of the line. You don't need top of the line. Just something that's going to hold. And then there's the paint. So you just need acrylic paint as in terms of the painting itself. And I would recommend going to Walmart for this because Apple Barrel, which is the primary paint I've seen at Walmart, is like 60 something cents. So I'm going to round it up and say 70 from the last I saw. So it's less than $1 per bottle of paint. And the only colors I could ever say, like, if you want to maybe buy a bigger bottle of, are black and white. And that way you can just, you know, lighten and darken the colors as you see fit. But if you know what you need, like, Arlecchino, what? Okay, just because you're on Kitty Island doesn't mean you need to be a cat. Or are you showing Lynette how to climb a tree? If you know the color palette of the thing that you're going to paint, you can obviously curate uh, the palette when you go and, just buy the colors you need. So, as an example, the last painting I did was of Hythlodaeus from Final Fantasy XIV. And those who don't know, he became my favorite character almost instantly when I played through Endwalker. Like, he shot up there, like, pretty much immediately when I met him in the game. Pretty much because of his interactions with Emmett and just him just giving him shit. I loved it. Endwalker was so good. So for that instance, I needed black and white, of course, and then a flesh tone color and a purple. If we're going for the primary colors that Hythlo is. So it wasn't that large of a color palette. So it wouldn't have been too heavy on the wallet if I didn't have the paint already. And then it was like, I want to say $4 for the pen, for the oil-based pen. Okay, so you have all of that, and then it's like, well, what about glass? Picture frames. So once you actually finish painting on the glass to the frame, you put it back in the frame, and it looks all cool. And where can you get decent picture frames? Now, here's the thing. I'm going to state this. The glass is really thin, so you'd have to be extremely, extremely careful with them. Because I have broken glass from these kind of frames before with very little pressure. And that's the Dollar Tree. So for $1.25, you can get a very decent sized frame. Nothing too huge. They don't have any like super large ones, I don't think. Or at least not that I'm aware of. I haven't been to the Dollar Tree in a hot minute to look at that kind of stuff. But for $1.25, you can get a decent sized frame to paint the glass on and actually have a thing to display your art. So yeah, that was one of the biggest reasons I loved that project, was because the cost of doing it wasn't that much. And above all, it was like one of the most relaxing things I have ever done. And it's just literally layering the paint onto the glass, because you're doing the highlights and shadows first, and then you're just going over it with the rest of the colors. And you're waiting between layers for it to dry before you do the next one. And when I tell you I was so relaxed that I completely lost track of time, that's exactly what happened. And I don't regret it at all. And it wasn't like a near thing with like old school Final Fantasy 11 grinding or anything like that. Hang on. Model, what are you doing? Why are you like completely cockeyed? So it wasn't anything like that where like you would do all the grinding on 11 and be like, man, I'm hungry. I wonder why. And then find out that like you hadn't eaten all day and it's like 10 o'clock at night. But it was like, a solid like 3 hours kind of thing, and not even realizing that 3 hours had passed. And honestly, it was a good feeling because, again, it was so tranquil to just sit there and paint. It honestly, like, especially recently, I've been watching a lot of Bob Ross on Twitch when the weekend hits and stuff like that. And that's been kind of a thing since my mom passed. I would throw him on while I was working and stuff like that. So this was before it was just the marathons now. But he used to be on like every day, and I would while I was on shift, because I was still grieving and stuff like that and just trying to make it through, I would flip on Bob Ross on my phone, and even though I couldn't hear anything because I had to have the volume off, of course, just seeing him paint was relaxing, and it kind of just put me in a different mindset. And it was the same feeling I had while doing the glass painting. So it's definitely a project I want to go back to. Why do you always get the freaking treasure hoarders? I don't need more treasure hoarders. You missed. And now I'm having problems switching.
The hunter
See, Lolly, eat Papa. Get him.
the hunter becomes the hunted.
Mushroom? Mushroom, okay. Oh no, that was a treasure. He blew up all the way over there. I was not expecting that. Okay. And we're good. We'll have a standard wish by the end of the day, I think. Alright. Here's the stupid Malvika challenge. That's right, they want you to use, why Geo on the second side? Has melt. When there are at least two... Half. Is it one of two or half? Pyro characters. One or is it reading one or two pyro characters in the party? All party members' crit rate goes... What's the point of having the pyro? Like, I understand they want you to do off-field Malvika on one of these, but I don't see the point. But you want me to do off-field Malvika? I'll do off-field Malvika. Let's put Malvika here. We're gonna do that. It's gonna yell at me because I am not gonna use Geo. I probably should throw in like Zhongli, if I'm being honest. Okay, let's try this. Let's just try this. You're gonna go here. We'll bring Zhongli so it doesn't yell at me for not bringing Geo, and we'll bring Arlie. And then here we're gonna use Malvika as the DPS. And who do we want to bring? And they do want you to take Sitlali. So Sitlali, a Scofi, and what? Zhangling or Bennett? Should we do Bennett? Yeah, we can take Benny. Let's see what happens. I don't have Malvika, so crappy Malvika goes.
Burn it down.
Stabilize.
No, my sword. Rain outlines your fate.
I hit the wrong button. How did you... How?
Rain cutter.
I will have order.
Plastic surge.
This is order.
Let me weave you a verse. This is where you fall.
Crumble.
Order guide you.
Full throttle! Rain cutter. Rain outlines your fate. Rat from the sky!
Solidify.
I forget that, like, you know, it's a charge attack, so I have to hold down the charge button to do her donuts, not the skill.
Huh? Show no mercy. Off to the freezer. Huh? Ha! Ha! Cha! Cha! Ha! Light of the blazing sun. Ah!
What the? Why are you not dead?
Adaptive frosting! The Pinnagomax fulfill our pact! Suffer the wrath of Eatfleet! Teamwork is dreamwork! Let's wrap from the skies! Rise with the sun! Off to the freezer! Fear's on the loose! You two! Time to end them! Show no... I'm going in! Light of the blazing sun! Incinerate! Rev the engines! Go! Adaptive frosting! The Pinnagomax... Suffer the wrath of Eatfleet! Fulfill our pact! Pyroclastic surge!
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going try hard on this event, like, at all. So I'm missing the last one on this one, and then I could try again on these two. If I really wanted to just get the little extra, but again, I'm not gonna really worry about it. I got all the primos out of it. And theater's been done, so don't need to worry about that. Yay, level 50, yay! And it still has 12 days left. We are taking contention.
Staring into my eye.
Is ill advised, yes. 4-star? That's all we're looking for. Let's see. Maybe? We might see a 4-star if it's early. 20, 25, 26? Yeah, we're on 26 pity. Nope. That's a
Ill
noper.
advised. I can't promise you'll like what you see.
Let's, trying to think. I think the first time I did this that went really well was just with Sit Lolly. So we're gonna do Sit Lolly Shalonen.
I'm never late. Let the world collide! Get to work!
performance has yet to conclude.
Oh, I'm lagging. I'm lagging.
I dance for you, my dear.
Show a new praise! Let the world come alive!
It is time to slay our foes with one
Get to work! Fulfill our path! You two! Time to end!
Good lord, always forgetting your lines.
Let the mighty be humbled.
Why did you go behind me?
Is upon us.
Nice. And a dream solvent. So we have 8 of these. That's cool. Kind of crappy energy recharge. Alright, we need to go to that land. Because we need the Dargan. And I'm going to be smart and I'm going to heal myself. No, let's... Yep.
This world will be reduced to
Stop that!
Come on, Farina, there we go.
Time to shine!
Hear the echoes of the valley.
Show no mercy!
Really?
See Laline! Eat Papa! Get him!
The tides beckon.
Let the world come alive!
This world shall perish, and its ashes will fall like...
Let the mountain's veins boil! You two! Time to end!
this world is but a lie.
Yes, that is the one I need. I only have one. So I'd be willing to solvent that if I have the stuff for her. But we will check all of that once we are done. We go back to statue, and then we'll fight a pep to see if we can get something for Risley, because I want to crown his skin as a normal attack. I keep doing that, even though I have it accessed on the map. Just easier to go here instead of going.
Where's the boss? I don't remember where the boss is.
Alright, and we bring back Kazu.
All right, let's head off.
Alright, come here.
Strike a pose!
Bring it.
Bow your head.
How she got into this?
Show a new praise!
One with nature.
Silence. Be sanctified. Bow your head.
I have 8 of those. That's not what I need. I might just solvent the one for Risley. A Pep is easy, but he's the only one that actually really needs it at the moment. Yeah, it's the green bloom that he needs. Oh, right. I needed to go farm cogs. I can still, like, craft some, but I should go farm some. And now that we've done that, let me finish out doing this. Will I get something good? Probably not.
Silence!
Not to a good start, so I'm thinking right. I'm thinking I'm right.
Let the mountain's veins boil!
Nope. Nope, nope, nope.
Strike him out!
Bow your head.
I mean, we could try, maybe. I'm gonna leave it unlocked and I'll check it. I don't remember if... I think the flower actually has a tag on it, so...
Settle down.
And that was my last one. Nope. And nope. So we got a question mark one, and the rest were a nope. So we'll see if we can get lucky with the artifact exchanger for Sing Cho. Not yet. I think that's tomorrow? Question mark. All right, we got the question mark one. We need Layla. Layla. I made you out of clay. No, it has energy recharge. But this has 2 flat... No, it has HP percent. HP percent and flat defense. I don't know if Skirk's going to be one of those that doesn't need energy or not, since they started doing that with Malvika. Or if that's just something going to be special to Malvika. And then we had this one. This was the one that I questioned that would actually be okay. It's lower crit damage and crit rate, but it has attack. I still think the CV would be better in this case, but... we can see. Well, do I want to do that? Like, unless it's a banger crit piece. Like, I don't see it being viable, but... I mean, it just becomes fodder, right? And it does roll the crit. Okay. Alright, I see you. Let's see. Oh. Oh, wow. Well, that is technically better. That has more crit rate on it. Just literally just minuscule less crit damage. So we're gonna lock that. That 41, 42 CV. That's not bad. Hey. Oh, are you wearing the crit damage one? Yeah, you're wearing the crit damage one. So if we give you this, what does your stats look like? That's respectable. I think that's respectable. 70 over 212 right now. I would still like a better Sans if I can do it, but I can't make one. I can make an offset one. I mean, that would be fine, right? If I really wanted to. Or make a circlet when it comes back. Okay. I'm happy with that. Noblesse. Okay, we got a mask. Crit rate? Crit damage. It could roll crit rate, though. We'll try. We'll try. Might be better than what he's got. Crit rate with HP. If this... I'll have to check my Bennett, but if this gets ER, it could be better than what he's got. But at the same time, I don't really have to worry about... maybe not. Maybe I don't need to. Because I gotta remember, my Bennett doesn't run Fav. He's on Skyward. So I'm gonna say no to that, actually. And we will throw you back in. Can we get a crit rate? HP Sans is kind of black. Okay. And we go on to Sing Cho, because he's actually wearing the Noblesse. Okay. And we got this here. It has ER, so we need crit rate on it for it to be even remotely thought of. Which we don't get. So it is trash. Garbage. Because honestly, if he got the crit rate, he would actually be pretty decent. He would need a little bit more crit damage, I think, but... Yeah. You're using an offset goblet too, right? Yeah. Which isn't terrific. Which isn't terrific, but, you know, it's what we got. Oh, that could have such a... Oh, that could have been so good for my cryo boys, but nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, so what I was going to look at... solvents. So I have like, what, 12? 11. I should have known better. That's the same amount as my ult.
I also see the meaning in all the endeavors of the people.
Let's see. We are one off. And you need the cogs. We need the cogs regardless. I could solvent this just to finish out Escoffier. If I get any, and still farm the dragon, because if I get any more of these would be for Malvika. So, that wouldn't be too bad. That would leave me with 7 crowns. 1 would be for Risley's main attack. So 6. So then I could triple crown Skirk. I am running out of crowns. So yeah, I think Skirk would be the last triple crown, and then if I did manage to get Malvika, she would use the last 3, and then I'm out until the end of time. Just not really, until they actually put more in events. Because, like, hell am I gonna spend, like, what is it, 50 glitter for a crown? F that. Crowns should be cheaper than the characters, honestly. Alright, let's solvent this so we can finish out a Scoffier.
I believe I will continue today.
I am willing to do that. That is the wrong thing. Grab that. And this is the one I need for Risley. How many Ever Ambers do I have? I have 10 Ever Amber. Honestly, I should think about doing Lynette because I can do that. Yeah, alright. Let's finish out Risley.
Pride
And
in
then we can
fulfilling
figure
my
out
duties.
another boss to fight that's not a Pep. Which would probably be... I don't think I need any more, Yeah, I don't think I need Scaramouche for the characters I use. I don't think I need Scaramouche. I'm pretty much done with the wolf. Everything can be solvented once I have solvents for the characters I need. Same with the Volin. So, I don't want to say Ajaha, but it might be Raiden Shogun. Or Senora, because Raiden needs Senora. So just farm up those for what I need and then be able to do that when applicable. Da 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 da. Definitely know I'm going to need way more than that, but let's go. All right. All right, crowning, double crown. Woo! Damn. That's a lot of skill damage. All right, but she is now double crown. That's all good. And then we need Risley. Here you go, Rio. Long time coming. So he's 1099. That should be good enough. I might want to double crown him at some point, but again, low on crowns. And right now, I will have to see what Skirk does. Right now, I'm planning to triple crown her, but it might just be a thing where she just needs her burst up and that's it. We'll see how she has, well, how she plays, how she has to play. Yep. Words and shit. All right, let's start from here and let me see what I have for talents. Your skill is at 9. That's fine. I could crown it if I really want to. So I could fight Ajdaha. You're double crown. You're double crown. You're triple. Then we have Navia. Navia just really needs the stuff from the whale because I was originally going to triple crown Navia. So she has everything really except for this. Okay, I probably should farm some of that too. But she's at 9. You're double crown, double crown, double crown. Again, I probably will do his burst at some point. Then there's Sino. I mean, honestly, the characters that I have up like this are fine for the theater because they are much better than what the game gives you. Because Forrest would probably be able to tell you because he did my theater for me just because I hate doing the theater. I always get cucked when I do it. But they give you Sino, and my Sino that's not very well built anymore, and the one they give you is way better. Probably because he's also level 90. That probably helps. All right, so I could farm Raiden. I can make 23 of your books. So now I guess the goal for my main account would be to get the characters who are kind of benched mainly for the theater to get their talents up to level 9. Not crown, but 9. So he would need Raiden. She needs Senora. We would definitely have to farm Books of Light at that point. Kaching. Kaching has all her boss drops. Like I said, I fought the wolf enough times. Guys, Prosperity. You fooled me. I thought you were gold for a second because every Leeway character is gold. All right. So there's that. Double crown. Double crown. You're at 999. Again, Alhaitham was going to go triple crown too. I'm so cold. I don't know how it is in the apartment, but it is freezing here in the office. It's varying. Like, it just started to warm up to a point in my corner that I want the little fan on low. But yeah, it was freezing in here at 11 o'clock. I think it was only reading like 69 or something like that in the apartment. So it'd probably be more comfortable when you get home. How is it like outside? Have you been outside at all? But yeah, I was gonna Triple Crown El Hatham, but then I stopped using him, so I was like, I'll stop him here. And I think who came out? Was it Sitlali? It might have been Sitlali and then Escoffier that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put stuff towards that. And Risley as well. Okay, Nahita's double crown, Arlie is triple, and Arlie only became triple because I actually got some of her drops while I was farming for somebody else. Oh, it was Emily. When I was farming for Emily, I got like one more drop for Arlecchino, and I was like, why not? All right, double on Dea for level 9. You would need Skara, and you have enough to go to level 9, so I don't need to farm Scaramouche. Double crown, Kooky. All right, you need Raiden Shogun. You are level 9. You can double crown right now. You just need the arrowheads. But again, crowns. So you're level 9, you're good. You're double crowned. You are 9 and crowned. You are 9 and crowned. Yan-san. Okay. I would need to do Arlecchino. I'm gonna see if I have anything for early. Okay. But for this account, Yansan got put on the back burner because none of my characters really utilize her very well. Because again, I didn't have any Natland DPSs. The building doesn't have AC either, so I have no clue why it's so cold in here. It's very nice outside. That's weird. I'm having flashbacks to our old bedroom at my parents' place. So this was inexplicable. Like there had to have been a problem with the insulation in that part of the house specifically because our room never held heat or cold air. It was always what the temperature was outside. So even though it's very, as Forrest is saying right now, it's very nice out, it's going to bring in that warm air and not any of the cool air I'm trying to circulate in that room. If it was winter and you cranked up the heat, you felt none of that. It was always the cold air from outside. And that's what it's reminding me of that he's describing right now. That's really weird. That's very weird. Do you need me to make you a pot of coffee or something for when you get home just to warm up a little bit? Okay, so let's see. Janssen is still on the back burner, and I think I'm going to keep her there until I actually can find a character that utilizes her to her more fullest to the extent. Like Arlie can, but it's a lot of like backdashing and stuff like that out of the combo and coming back out, which could potentially help with the melt, if I'm being honest. But I would rather use Bennett and the characters I'm using right now to do melt since I play melt early and not overload. However, wouldn't be a worse thing if I think about overload. And even then, I would probably use Janssen for that. So it would be Chev, Arlie, Janssen. Would that be enough Electro? I don't think it is. I think you would need to use Fischl and Beto. Because I would still want to protect Arlecchino. But then it begs the difference of, is doing overload more beneficial than me running melt to run melt slash freeze, whatever, to run Sitlali to get the buff from Sitlali for the pyro buff? That I don't know. And then the rest of these well, I can't say that. Shan Yun, she still needs to be ascended. Or are you ascended? Yeah, you still need to be ascended. You have the drops from the whale. You just need your books to go to level 9. That's actually not that bad. Sucrose is perfectly fine the way she is, honestly. But again, she just needs books and this to go to level 9. Like, I don't need to worry about Fischl. She could use them. Kirara. Kirara was the other one that uses the Ever Amber. And needs her final ascension. At this point, it's like all looking at the theater stuff. Oh, you use the same as Farina. I forgot about that. And you use Prosperity as well. And then we're hitting the bottom of the barrel. All right, so maybe I'll start fighting Raiden in place of a pep. I'll still do the dragon in case there's other characters that need it. Like Lanyon, I think, used the dragon too, right? So there's that. And then we have like 8 or 9 pieces of the piece that's supposedly for Skirk, so that's a plus. Coffee would be good, I think. Okay, I will make you a pot of coffee. Like I normally do. I'll start it at like 3:30 or something like that. That way it's fresh for you when you get home. All right, so I think that's the plan going forward in terms of bosses. Most of the books, let's see. So if we looked at Sino, the good news is that they only need to go to level 9, which is like 1 level. So we need 4 of the hands. We can make 23 of these. So you can make 2. Yeah, we have enough to actually do that. I don't need to farm his books. Raiden, I said I needed to farm light. I can make 2. Which I'm 1 off, really? Really? Okay, so I would need to farm light, which is tomorrow. I have nothing to write on next to me. Whoopsies. Okay, so that's tomorrow. So I might do that. So maybe we'll do the 80 for characters, and then the rest for artifacts, since we're still trying to get stuff for Skirk, even though we did get an upgrade. So I was actually very happy about that. All right, so Raiden's definitely going to be the one for next week for the bosses, and then you have Prosperity, but you have everything else, and Prosperity is Monday. So Thursday, maybe we do Prosperity because we can do her and Gaming. With Kaching taking priority only because she is level 90 and he's not. So he needs Ascension. And could do that too. We could work on somebody's Ascension too. But I am going to mull that over off stream. So, because we have reached the end. Da, da, da. So honestly, still very happy with my main account. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually really happy with it. My resources have been spent pretty well. I know I used a chunk of my solvents at one point to actually get certain characters up on their talents because the game just wasn't giving me the drops, which is in this case, it was happening with Risley consistently. So I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna finish Risley. And the only reason I was doing it with the Scofier is because I'm actively using her. And I'm like, I want this done. I want her to be the best she can be as of right now. And then I can just stock up on other things. But the funny thing is, that's where my account actually is now. Like, I can actually feel like, hey, I can actually, just start farming the stuff, switching stuff around to solvents or whatever, and then stocking up on other things. And it's the first time I've actually pre-farmed a artifact domain and everything like that. My second account is not so much there yet. I'm still having problems like figuring out what I want to do, but that's a indecisiveness more than my account can't do something. But we'll be back tomorrow to actually do some more. I don't know if I'm going to flip into Star Rail. Star Rail has always been a if I have time, I'll flip into it just to have something to do. But I like having, being able to have that option should there be enough time. But it looks like Genshin is still taking a chunk of time. Speaking of which, I do need to go farm the mecha, so I'm going to go do that before I forget again. So I can get those clockwork pieces. Yeah. So I hope you all had fun, and you'll join me again tomorrow at the same time. Hopefully. I make no promises. The way I've been lately, I make no promises. So I'll hopefully see you all tomorrow. Until then, take care, everyone.